Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be turning this 180-year-old piece of barnwood into a countertop. And we're going to go from this to this. Enjoy the episode. Like I said in the last episode, this is a floorboard out of the barn that we dismantled last year. It is 12 feet long, about 16 feet deep, about an inch and a half thick. And this was the floorboard on the second floor of that barn. I've already done a few tests. This is the look the client is going for. Kind of a blackened grain look. And I'll show you how I do that. This is the bottom of the piece. This is the bottom of the countertop, so I'd run all my tests on here first. I'll flip it over and show you how to get this effect. The best way to achieve a darkened grain look like this for rough sawn pieces like this is regular black spray paint. This is a flat black from Tremclad. This stuff sprays nice and it's relatively inexpensive. And then I just lightly sand this with an orbital sander. It's about 80 grit. And you just sand off enough to get the desired look you're going for. This is about a 10-second pass. You can sand off as little as much as you want. You can still see the deep tooling marks in there and the nice grain pattern. We gave our client a sample board and he liked the blackened look, so hopefully he likes the final product. Okay, now that I got the piece flipped over, I'm just gonna give the whole thing a coat of black, and I'm gonna let this dry, and I'm gonna hit this with the sandpaper. A quick coat of black spray paint is complete. You can see I didn't go crazy heavy. It's more like a light misting. You can still see some of the brown coming through. I don't think you have to go nuts on this though. The great part about these rustic projects is there's no real right or wrong. The look at the end is what you make it. It's funny because it just looks like a charred piece of wood now. Looks like I pulled this out of a burning building or something. We'll give this about half an hour to an hour to dry, and I'll come back and hit it with the sandpaper and transform this piece of wood. Also, it's now December here. In between coat, if you're gonna put more than one coat of this on here, any spray paints, bring them back into the house, keep them warm. They always spray better when they're at a good temperature.
1 hour later.
Okay, now the black spray paint is dry, and I'm gonna start sanding this. I think earlier I said I was using 80 grit. These are Diablo sanding pads. These are 100 grit. A little bit less aggressive, but let's see how fast we can do this. You don't have to go crazy with this. I'm going to show you how fast this black paint actually comes off with 100 grit paper. As you can see, that took no time at all, and you can see the grain coming out. Like I said, you can sand as much or as little as you like to get your desired effect. Now I'm going to sand the rest of it. Alright. Pass with the sander is done. You can see all the low spots stayed black. It highlights all these nice battle scars, nail holes. Highlights this knot nicely. All the tool marks. A few things I have to take care of. A little bit of a snag spot here. Looks like an old Looks like an old square nail underneath there, and another nail here I gotta take care of and figure out what I'm gonna do with this snag spot. Either attempt to glue it flat or slice it a little bit. So with just a bit of spray paint and a little bit of sanding, we went from a piece of wood that looked like that to that. Just like that, snag point is chiseled off. The key to sanding pieces like this is you want to sand enough to show off the character and get rid of just any splinters that stick up, but you want to keep as much of the character as possible. This looks like the sample piece sent the client that they are happy with, so this is as far as I'm gonna go, and put just a clear coat on top of this, a matte finish clear coat. At this point, you could sand more of the black off. You could add black to this. You could even experiment with different stains on this exposed wood now, so you can have the black in the background. You can actually stain this a nice dark brown or a nice red color or whatever you like. You could do whatever you want. But this particular bar top, we're doing the black lowlights and a matte clear finish. Now I'm ready to clean off all the dust and put the first clear coat on this. In my last video where I showed you how to finish red oak, check that video out if you haven't yet. This is what I used, interior water finish semi-gloss on that piece. For a piece like this, a bar top, this is my preference. No defense, this is actually a floor finish, but it's a lot stronger than just a regular furniture finish and a matte. I do not have a lot of this left, and it's sold out in all the stores near me. So I picked up this Varathane furniture finish, which is also a matte finish. So I'm probably going to do a couple coats of this and then do my final coat with this. But ideally, if the store had it, I would just do 3 coats of this. And for a piece like this, for a countertop that's going to have, this is just going to be bracketed to the wall. It's going to be almost floating. There's going to be no legs under this. I'm going to do 2 coats on the bottom and 3 coats on the top. I want this thing sealed on all sides. I got my Varathane all stirred up, and I got my brush ready. We're gonna see how this goes. Trying to get in all the low spots. I'm trying to spread it out. I'm trying to get rid of this milky look. I'm not being shy with the finish, because I'm trying to hit into all those low spots as well. I gotta make sure this whole piece is protected, because this is gonna be a bar top, so I want to make sure I hit every single low spot. Okay, first coat is on. I had to be pretty liberal with this finish, and I'm just going around looking for any of these pockets with any of these milky spots, and I'm just trying to dab as much of that excess out. Any of those deep pockets that look super white and not clear. Most of the time that white will even out, but this is your opportunity to double check everything. This is first coat. I will do 2 more coats. We'll see what this looks like when it dries.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Hey, if you're enjoying the video, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Back to the video. Okay, this is first coat dry. It's been about an hour and a half. Rinse and repeat. 2 more coats. Okay, quick update. It's starting to get dark out and it's getting too cold. It's just above freezing outside. I don't have a heater in that shop yet, so I brought the piece inside. Hopefully it dries up better. Second coat's drying nicely, but there's a few spots I'm hoping that I brought in here Temperature's a little bit higher, a little bit drier in here. Hopefully these little patches dry up better, and then I can slap a third coat on it in a nice temperature controlled environment.
3 hours later.
And the second coat is drying, and this slab is up to room temperature. I'll do a third coat and leave it overnight and see if I have to do more coats or change up the finish that I use. If you'd like more details on how I use water-based finish on wood projects like this, check out my other video on how to stain and varnish red oak. It goes into greater detail on how I do varnish finishes.
3 hours later.
And just like that, that is 3 coats dry on the top. It's a matte finish, nice and subtle. Kind of deepens the wood color a little bit, brings it back to that nice look. Just gonna leave this piece overnight. It's dry to the touch now, but I'm gonna leave it overnight anyway. And I'm gonna seal the bottom. Kind of a do as I say, not as I do type of tip. In retrospect, I should have put 2 coats on the bottom, let it dry, then flip it over, and then do the 3 coats on the top, so there's no chance of me scuffing the top when I flip this. But if I leave it overnight, this is a rough piece anyway, so it should be fine. Hey, if you're enjoying the content, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Hopefully this week this door will come in for the shop. We're gonna install that bar top, work on that fireplace, and tons of other stuff. Big to-do list between now and Christmas. I hope you subscribe so you don't miss any of it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully in the next few weeks there'll actually be a door and a heater in here and I can do these projects on the inside and not have to bring them into the kitchen.